Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evilise Chronicles. I am the Mysterious JG, and I am enjoying, for the most part, the voice acting, even if I kind of miss the poorly translated and a little more stripped down PS1 script. We have defeated a group of brigands who are attempting to retreat through the city of whatever the city was called. It's a magic city, but I can't remember what it's actually called. But the enemy is vanquished and victory is ours. I guess I could have gotten to this screen and then... Oh, that is a thing that exists in this version that didn't exist before, is greatest contribution. So I could have gone to this screen and called it a video last time. I didn't quite realize that this was here. But we got 500... Oh, never mind. I didn't press X and it did move on without me, so that would have been a problem. Except that I could pause whenever.
Barbeneth Beowulf, a great hero who had attained the distinguished title of Knight Gallant, approached the hour of his death.
On little cat feet. The Beowulf Mons in the waning days of the 50 Years' War.
What news of the war?
It's going great.
The Order has struck a great blow. Limbri is ours once more.
Oh, shut it, Zalbag.
'Tis but a matter of time ere the Ordalians withdraw from Seltania.
Uh-huh. This reminds me, and I know I already got a little political with a passing joke about Fox News in the first one, but I do remember hearing like a real story, more than one real story about people who were dying back around the time of the like investigations into January the 6th. And like people on their deathbed being told by their children that Trump has been convicted and he's going to prison. That's what's happening here. People are being told, he's being told Trump has been convicted and is going to prison.
All goes as planned, Lord Father. Be not troubled.
The envoy dispatched to treat with Advocate Lenario returned this night past.
Oh, Lenario. I do dimly remember that if this is the same big power that is like kind of briefly mentioned, and we meet like one or two characters from it in Final Fantasy. Is it 11 or 12? I always get it mixed up. It's the one that has Quiddities. It's got like Fran, the rabbit girl with the big butt, and Van, and I don't remember the name of Van's lady friend, and that Pinello, I guess. That one. Yeah, like Princess Ash at some point meets some diplomat from the... And like the game is a huge game world, and we never go to this other country. But the only character we meet from there seems like vaguely continental European, like Italian. So I guess Advocate Lenario, it does feel to me like Ivalice is this like, you know, British kingdom that is at war with some kind of giant super Italy.
He has agreed to your proposal, Lord Father.
Good. Very good. Then the war will die with me.
I better hurry up and get dead.
Father.
Maybe Zalbag isn't exaggerating. Maybe they won like one victory over the course of these defeats, and it's going to be enough to force an armistice.
There now, Alma. Do you want my last memory to be of your tears?
That would actually really do some good for my ego, Father.
Where is that Ramza? He should be here at your side.
That scumbag.
Zalbag, Dystag, you are dear to me. But Ramza is no less so.
Well, no one said that he was. What do you...
Though he be not the issue of the womb that bore you, my sons, still my blood courses through his veins.
Mm-hmm. He's a vampire.
Watch after him.
That is a fancy pants way of saying that Zalbag and Dystarg are brothers and Ramza is only their half-brother. If, you know, you weren't getting that, which I suppose you were, so what am I doing? Lord Father.
You forget yourself, Ramza.
Wipe your feet before you come in here.
You have come. Good. Let me look upon your face once more.
Setting the table here a little. Didn't their dad literally just tell the two older brothers to be nice to Ramza? And as soon as Ramza comes into the room, the oldest brother's like on his case, like instantly.
Lord Father.
How long has it been? You've grown into a fine young man.
With a beautiful ponytail, like mine.
I would hear of your studies. You've been at the academy since spring, is it?
I just can't divide fractions, Father. They tell me it's like multiplying, but you invert them, but I can't do it. Tell him. Tell him about your studies.
Hear me, Ramza.
Would you like my last memory to be of you not telling me about your studies?
For generations, we Beowulfs have stood foremost of those who serve the crown. Ours is the soul of the night.
And the treasure is buried beneath a big W.
Become a knight worthy of your name. Tolerate no injustice. Stray not from the true path.
Which reminds me that the final words of Liu Bei, per the Three Kingdoms novel, they're a bit fancy because they were in letter form. And he said that though an injustice be small, tolerate it, fight it all the same. Though a justice be difficult, secure it all the same. Though an injustice be slight, fight it all the same. This is the only way to win men's hearts. And then Cao Cao had the famous line near the end of his life, where he'd lived the life of a villain, and on his deathbed, as his ministers offered to go out and have prayer services in his honor, as he was dying to restore his health, he said, "When one has offended heaven, to whom can he pray?" And then, of course, Sun Jian, who was posthumously titled the first emperor of Wu, died in an arrow ambush, and his final words were, "Ah!"
You will know the path you must walk. A Beowulf can walk no other.
Mm-hmm.
I will not fail you, Father.
Meanwhile, the older brothers have to be, what are we, chopped liver?
Your friend, Delita. He is a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
He is low-born, but he can serve you well.
Barnbeneth, a knight known for his honor, his virtue, and being not a great judge of character.
I've made arrangements for him to enter the academy. You should have seen the look on the headmaster's face.
So I slept him.
In the years ahead, you will need someone whom you can trust. You could do far worse than Delita.
That's right, Ramza. I will always be your friend.
As you say, Father.
Take care of your sister.
Who's that, then?
And show these brothers of yours what it is. What it is to be a knight.
I don't remember it coming across on the PS1 version, but it's... Oh, wow, they actually are making them have death rattles here. Wow, if you wait and keep your fucking mouth shut, pardon my French, she actually has death rattles that are voice acted. I don't remember in the PS1 version, he really it seems like his last words imply that his brothers are just a-holes. Turns out to be half true. Anyways, thanks for hanging out for my death speech. New stock available at the Outfitter. Head to Egros Castle to support efforts to eliminate the Corpse Brigade. Oh, and there's new rumors available. Also, the Academy no longer exists as a separate location. So, geez, we might not get to a battle, actually. But we can go to the Outfitter.
Welcome. Take as long as you need.
But eat all you take.
Or catch your eye.
Yeah, there's like nothing you can click in this game that isn't voice acted now. So we can buy daggers, which are for... I don't know how well I'm going to be able to read all those symbols, but the broadswords are for squires and niggets, and I think that's geomancers. Not positive on that one. The dagger is pretty wide. Well, daggers cannot be used by knights, but they can be used by... That must be a thief symbol down there. But they can be used... Yeah, they're handy at this point because they can be used by chemists and squires, and that's mostly what we got. And then, for reasons that I will never understand, if you are a black mage, you cannot equip a staff, you must equip a rod. And if you are a white mage, you cannot equip a rod, you must equip a staff. Seems to me like you could just wave around and hit a guy with whatever stick you need. Rods are also useful for oracles, I think can do both. And oracle's a little yin-yang symbol down there in the second row. I'm not even sure what's going on with... Like, there's just... I don't understand all the different job symbols. I just don't. Can't buy shields yet. Can't buy... Oh, we can buy hats. But just the one that everybody already has. So we stole a few things that we already had access to. So if we were to hire more party members who are squires, and there's no great reason to... You never get to send more than 5 troops onto the field at a time. So we've already got like enough that if we just keep using the same characters, we always have enough characters. Looks like our limit is 50 because we've got 7 characters. The limit was much lower in the PS1 version, which is kind of tricky only because there's something of a monster breeding mechanic that you can play with if you want, and it's really difficult to keep enough slots free for that if you have a low character limit.
You're here to sell.
He really doesn't sound excited about that, does he?
I'll help with aught else. Who needs outfitting? May I be? Come back.
Actually, what we should have...
Welcome.
What we should have checked is... Yeah, we should just buy potions, honestly. Surely there's a way to buy 10 at a time. There has to be a button to... Oh, I can go all the way down to 96, which we could afford at this point. Right now, getting up to like 30 is fine. What the hell, let's get up to 40.
Are you happy to make this purchase?
I think I've got extra starting money because I bought the Fancy Pants, pay more money in real life to get access to Special Stuff Edition of the game. Would not bet my life on that.
Are you happy to thank you for...
Are you happy in your work? Would you never ever shirk?
Are you happy anything?
Phoenix Downs, on the other hand, is expensive, so you don't want to let your characters get knocked down to 0 health, but if you do, it's really important that you get them back.
What'll it be?
Now, we can't do anything with this place yet. Later, the tavern becomes a way to get a limited amount of free job points for your generic guys without getting experience points. Experience points and job points are different. Experience points raise your level. Job points allow you to learn skills. And finding ways to get job points, to get skills without gaining your level is actually really important in this game because enemies and random encounters level up with you. And it is quite possible, while grinding to beat the story encounters, to make the random encounters far more difficult than the story encounters, to where when you've got several places to... You know, it's a lot to explain, and some of it can wait till later. And some of these things are non-issues in the Evil East Chronicles version, where you can always avoid a random encounter if you want to. Quality of life change that this game made. You could soft lock yourself in the old PS1 game, though, by just having leveled up in such a way that the random encounters became unwinnable for you because you got high levels but you didn't have good skills. So you can't win random battles. And if you're in a place where you can't get to a story, like the next story battle, you've got to face a random battle that you've made unwinnable for yourself, it's bad news. So it is important to find ways to get job points without raising your levels. And this tavern will eventually do that. But for now, all it does is give us some background story. So let's check it out.
Rumors, eh?
Rumors, eh? Small timers, huh? The Corpse Brigade. Brigandie is on the rise across the land, and Galleon has by no means been spared. Wains are struck and pillaged. High-ranking officials are taken at sword point. Most of the incidents of the past 6 months are believed to be the work of a company of felons and former sellswords known as the Corpse Brigade. It is oft said that the only good brigand is a dead brigand, and the Order of the Northern Sky would like naught more than to see the brigade made corpses for true. But as yet, it is all the knighthood can do to keep the outlaws in check. King Andoria III. The health of King Andoria III has been a subject of concern since his collapse at the birthday celebration of Prince Oronus. The Board of Chamberlains has since announced that the king has regained consciousness and his fever has broken, but will yet require no less than 3 weeks of quietude and bed rest in order to recover. Many speculate that maybe some months before the king resumes his official duties. However, Queen Loveria and her retainers have long been in charge of most affairs of state, and thus few problems are anticipated during the king's absence. This might be one of those Andropov situations where the king's dead for a month before they acknowledge it, too. The 50 Years' War. This can't possibly be a rumor. I think this is a thing that's happening that we are aware of. The half-century of conflict between Ivalice and Ordalia is today known as the 50 Years' War. 50 years is half a century, as you would know if you can operate with fractions, as Ramza can't. The beginning of the 50 Years' War can be traced to the death of Ordalia's king, Devon III, and his failure to name a successor. His cousin, Yaroi VI, was next in line for the throne. However, King Denamda II of Ivalice, the uncle of Devon III, proclaimed himself the rightful heir and declared war on Ordalia. However, this was merely a pretense to justify the invasion of the neighboring Ordalian province of Zelmonia. Formerly, isn't there Zeltenia, or that's from Ogre Battle? Formerly an independent state, it had been annexed by Ordalia nearly a century prior. Ivalice had since been aiding the province in an effort to weaken Ordalia. The increasingly severe oppression and political purges enacted by the Ordalians stifled Zelmonia's bid to regain independence. Tired of Ordalian rule, the Zelmonian leadership and nobility secretly petitioned Ivalice to make a more direct hand in their liberation. After a victory in Zelmonia, the Ivalician armies marched on the Ordalian capital of Veruia. Fantasy names a go-go. As fate would have it, Denamda II succumbed. Wouldn't it be succumb? No, it's probably succumbed. The fatal illness on the road. The momentary confusion. Oh, it's like a Shingen Takeda situation. The momentary confusion amongst Ivalice's troops gave Ordalia the opportunity it needed to regroup, and Veroi VI succeeded in pushing the Ivalicians back as far as Zelmonia. The resulting impasse would not be broken until the Romandan army's invasion 2 years hence. Who is Romanda? Oh, Romanda, powerful military state lying across the Rana Strait, marched on Ivalice at the behest of Yaroi VI, the blood relation of the Romandan nobility. However, Denamda II's successor, Denamda IV, Denamda III, just not... Is he even in this? Oh, no, there we go. There's a Denamda... No, that's Devon. Yeah, we skipped over Denamda III here. I call foul. Denamda IV was a fearless warrior, personally leading his men into battle against the combined might of Romanda and Ordalia. This, along with an outbreak of the Black Death in Romanda, forced the Romandan army to withdraw after only 3 years. 2 military orders worthy of particular mention in this conflict are the Order of the Northern Sky, led by the young Barbaneth Beluve, who would later claim the title of Knight Gallant, and that of the Southern Sky, led by Sidolphus Orlando, known as the Thunder God, T.G. Sid. After countless victories at home, these 2 orders had been poised to advance into Ordalia. However, the protracted conflict had begun to take its toll on domestic morale. Peasant uprisings, very unpleasant deal, and revolts throughout Ivalice and Ordalia forced both countries to send their troops home to pacify their own citizens, resulting in another stalemate. It was Denamda IV's sudden death by malady. A pretty girl is like a malady. Did I just... Okay, never mind. For a second, I thought I'd disconnected my own headphones. Denamda IV's sudden death by malady that broke the stalemate, though some claim that he was murdered. His successor, Andoria III, was ill-suited to the throne and left the governing of Ivalice to his queen and retainers. Without Denamda IV's leadership, the armies of Ivalice had little prayer preventing Veroi VI's successor, Prince Leonard, from defeating the troops stationed in Zilmonia and advancing into Ivalice proper. Despite the valiant efforts of the Northern and Southern Orders, Ivalice failed to repel Prince Leonard's invasion of Zeltenia. Ivalice's leaders soon began looking for a peaceful alternative. In the end, both states agreed that prolonging the war would prove mutually detrimental, and a pact was signed allowing each nation to return to addressing domestic strife. An equal peace in name, it was really a defeat for Ivalice. I don't know, it sounds like, well, whatever. They failed in basically all of their objectives, but didn't actually lose territory. But as it's been made clear up to this point, it does seem to have bankrupted the crown, and it means that soldiers are not getting paid. And that is not a situation that tends to go well. The economy of Ivalice was brought to the very brink of ruin as it struggled to pay reparations to its former enemies and to repay the loans taken from neighboring states to fund its war efforts. Soldiers returning from the front found, yes, that's what I was saying, found themselves without pay, and entire orders of knights were summarily discharged from service. The swelling ranks of the unemployed did little to relieve the people's distrust of the crown and the nobility.
Need anything else? Thank you and farewell.
And the Warriors Guild.
Welcome. Looking to draft the new recruits?
We want you
catch your eye?
as the recruit. So this basically is like a random roll where you can get new characters. You can get Peter, Alain, Eric, Marcella, whatever. They're obviously not random names because they have names like Norman for male characters and Diamanda for female. So they've got real life and fantasy-ish or just like oldie-timey names. Everybody's a level 1 squire. There is a fee for hiring them, but money's not that big of a thing in this game for the most part. The best gear you can't buy anyway.
Understood.
Good day to you.
I can do this.
Good to see you.
Interesting. Is there aught else?
You can also rename the characters we have, which is nice because the game that I had years ago, I don't even think I've still got the files. But when I was going to play this on a PS1 emulator years ago, I had like, I think I had a character I was going to make a mage who was named like Seymour. I think I went with a female fighter type named Great Khan and a female fighter type named Alicia after the Bullet Witch. I don't remember who the other male... Like, I was just characters who were from LPs that were recent for me at the time. So I'm not going to change anyone's names now, but we might do that later. If you've got thoughts about who our 3 male and 3 female characters could be, let me know in the comments. Not going to do a thing where I name it after... viewers or subscribers, please like and describe. But I might name them after characters who are in other series that I've had fun with. Also not going to be naming them things like Bronco or Little Z or Medium-Sized Z. But yeah, the possibility of naming them after characters from other video games might be fun. But there's no sense in naming these guys because there's a decent chance that when we get about 2 or 3 more plot battles in, we might load a world where things are more advanced than they are here.
Let me know if you need all else. Yep, when you next need hands, I'm here.
But now we can actually go in. We can actually...
Making preparations.
One thing I like to do sometimes is take gear off of the guest character so we can give the guest gear to somebody else, the best gear to somebody else. This job serves as foundation for all others. Delita's Metal Job command grants the essential squire abilities of the fundamentals, as well as some others that are unique to him. I don't think that is true. Oh, he gets Chant. Never mind. So the Metal Job command... The most metal thing I've ever heard. The Metal Job command is... Because not all squires get... Squires usually have something called... Hold on. Squires usually have a job command called Fundamentals. Metal is a special version of the job command that Ramza has. I didn't know Delita had that version of it too. But Ramza definitely has access to skills Delita will never have access to, including a mystery skill that you can only learn in a kind of specific way that will not be coming up for a long time. And I'll have to go out of my way to learn it if I want to learn it. You know what? I'm looking at the time, so we're not getting to a video here. I might as well try to cover some gameplay stuff. You've got 4 slots. Where you can change equipment and you can change abilities. You've got 2 hands. Some characters can equip shields, and even characters who can equip shields, some weapons are 2-handed. You got a head slot, you got a body slot, and you got an accessory slot, which can include boots. It can also include not boots. Looks like in this reality I have not grabbed. I got bonus items that are available. So we have bonus items available. I should have probably just stopped and let you see what they were. But for us, like, did we get the spiked boots from that? That's strange. I thought they were just a regular old item we could get. But we got the Ring of Aptitude, a mysterious ring that increases the amount of JP and job experience gained during battle, allowing the wearer to master their chosen job more easily. The effect does not multiply with other traits that produce the same effect. So it's job points and job experience, not just regular experience. Because you've got... I mean, this game gets confusing, man. I'm just here to tell you. Because you've got Ramza level 1 experience 81, and then Squire is level 2 next 187. So you get regular experience and you get job experience. So he can become a level 2 character and be a level 3 Squire. He could end up being a level 20 character and only a level 4 Squire if he's leveling up his overall experience under different jobs. The job you have when you level up affects how much your base stats level. So like if you're a Squire, you might get, like, I'm making these numbers up, you might get 5 hit points, max hit points added if you go from level 1 to level 2 while in the Squire job. You might get 7 hit points when you go from level 1 to level 2 in the Knight job. And I mean your core level. Like if Ramza, the character, goes from level 1 to level 2 as a ninja, he will get more speed as a base attribute than he would if he went from level 1 to level 2 as a Squire. But he can also be a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or max Squire, a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or max ninja, and that's different from his level of just being Ramza, who is at level 1, 81 experience. When he hits on 100 experience, he will go to level 2 experience 0. Yeah. That's why the Ring of Aptitude gives you job points and job experience, which helps you gain skills faster. Because as a Squire, he is at level 2 with 213 job points. He's got all these things to learn as a Squire. He can learn the focus ability, which is super handy because it is a thing you can do with a 100% success rate where you just take your turn and you focus and your physical attack increases for that battle. And you get job points and experience points for doing it because it is a successful action. So you get experience for doing it, which means it becomes a thing you do to just farm experience. You sit there and you just focus constantly because it gives you experience and doesn't end the battle before you're done gaining all the experience you want to get. There's all these other things you can learn. You can learn all these different abilities. You got 200, 400, 650, 7, 870, 9 something, 12, 15. It's going to be like 17,000 job points you have to gain before you fully max this job out, right? But you gain more job points per action as a level 2 Squire than you did as a level 1. You gain more job points per action as a level 3 Squire than you did as a 2. So it kind of accumulates. But it's a bit complicated, but generally you're just learning job. As you're doing a job, you're getting job points on that job that you can learn to get skills in that job. And there are some jobs that you want to master, and there are sub-jobs where you want to go in, maybe learn one very specific thing, and then get out of that job, because other than that, it's not a great job. Good example of that might be the Archer. Archer has a whole bunch of action abilities that are not amazing. It's got Speed Surge, It's got equip different Woppets. It's got jump +1. But Speed Surge is an interesting one. Speed Surge is a reaction ability. It means that when you get hit, there is a chance that when you receive damage, you will take the damage, but you will also get a, for the duration of the battle, a +1 to your base speed. So that can be kind of useful, and it costs 900. So if we wanted, we could switch Ramza to an archer and just have him fight as an archer until he has 900 job points as an archer, then get that skill, then switch him back to being a squire, and equip it on him as a squire. Because you've got all these equipment slots, and you can equip abilities too. Metal is all, like, you end up having 2 active abilities you can equip. The one for your current job is always equipped, but you can get one from another job. So, boy, I'm explaining more in this video than I thought I would. Let's say that we became an archer and we decided to learn the aim 1. Spends ever so slightly more time aiming to deal more damage. Well, if we acquired that, then we came over to come over here. Actually, items is more useful. You have not learned any item stuff yet. Proceed anyway? Yeah. This means that if I went over here to Chemist, we could learn as Ramza to use a potion. That's 30 job points. Easy. Chemist is another one where, like, thousands of job points to learn every skill under Chemist. But we could learn just potion. And now, even as a squire, Ramza can use his normal job command. Everybody has access to physical attack. He can use his metal command, and he can use items, but the only item he has is potion. Then counter abilities. This is an ability that has a chance to trigger when you were attacked. We haven't learned any yet, but I just showed you as an archer. There's one we could learn where every time you were attacked, there is a chance you would gain +1 speed, base speed, for the duration of battle. Support abilities. We don't have any of those either. It's a little frustrating, isn't it? Maybe we could learn a support ability. Different jobs give you different abilities. So, like, as support abilities can be very interesting. Evasive stance. This is an active thing that you can just do a parry stance. You can use this for equip axes. It's not useless. That's not useful, like, ever. But you could be an archer and then use as your support ability equip axe, and you could be an archer who goes around using an axe. Which would be a little weird, but you would use the aim commands, which means you take more time and you have higher accuracy, but you're using an axe, which means you still have to walk up to enemies to fight them. That is not a combination that makes sense. I'm just saying you can do different stuff. Counter tackle is a reaction ability. This means that when you get hit with an attack, you have a chance to counter an attack with an ability that is equivalent to Rush, which is a low-level physical damage deck. JP Boost is the one that you actually want to get out of Squire because it increases the amount of JP and job experience that you get. Which basically it's just a slot where you can put a skill that is usually... It's never active. It's some passive thing you can do on your characters. Like, I think the Black Mage learns a passive skill that is just boost your magical attack. So even if you are a Black Mage, you don't automatically have it, but that's where you can learn it. And then finally, everybody's got a slot for a movement ability.
Yes?
Yes, they do. So, like, the movement ability for the Squire class is movement +1. If you have that equipped on your move slot, you move one farther. Chemist has one of the more interesting ones, but only kind of if you already know the map. But, like, it's useful useless 99% of the time. But it is a thing where you might find treasure by walking around on the map. It has an interesting side effect. I think chemists always have treasure hunter, like innate. It's weird, and it accidentally broke something I was trying to do involving de-leveler traps off screen. Some characters don't learn any move abilities at all. And then, like, archers learn what improves your jump. It's fun. So for Ramza, I always feel kind of compelled to have something learned for each slot. I always feel bad if I don't have something learned for each slot. And ultimately, movement +1 is pretty good. It's going to be the default you've got until you start getting to the classes that have movement +2, which we're not going to get to for a little while. But I really want him to get JP plus, so let's not learn anything now. We can play with Delita because he kind of doesn't matter.
Need something?
So with Delita, for sure, if he's got enough points, we would want him to get JP up, but he doesn't. He's got Rush and he's got Chant. There's kind of a lot of stuff we don't want Delita to learn because he can break battles for us before we want him to. He can't change jobs anyway. I think in previous playthroughs where I was grinding too much, I managed to get Delita to master the Squire job. But with Delita, like if he had really good equipment, we would probably want to take it off of him and give him to a character that we can control. It's kind of important to keep up with your chemist level, so that she wasn't in the last fight, so she's got no job points to spend. You were in the last... We're really just trying to get... we really just want everybody to have JP+. Because you just want everyone to have that all the time. Unless you're in a battle where there's something very specific you're trying to do. Like if you're... I guess if you're in a story battle, you might not want it on. You might want something fancier on. But if you're in a battle fighting random enemies just to gain experience, learn skills, you pretty much always want JP boost. So you pretty much want to save 250 and do everything you can to slide by without spending JP on anything else until you got JP boost. The other thing is that there's a mechanic in the game where if I send like a bunch of squires out with a chemist, the chemist is going to be gaining job points from the squire job. And the squires will be gaining job points from the chemist job. Like, you get a small fraction of the job points that your allies get as you go. So, like, I have had characters who maxed out or got a lot of points or enough points to do something useful in a job they never had because, like by the end of the game, if you're bringing a chemist or two into every battle because they're really important as, like, a backup measure to make sure that you can heal and keep people alive, you're probably going to have a lot of people who are, like, have enough chemist points to get a lot of chemist skills just because they're constantly absorbing a small amount of chemist JP. Anyway, I managed to go 8 minutes over just trying to explain game mechanics without ever getting to gameplay. In my defense, there's a lot to explain. So what I'm going to do, and the menuing can be a little confused here. Let's throw down a save and call it a video. And when we come back next time, we will definitely continue on with the story because I have talked in circles about gameplay mechanics as much as I can. Things will come up that might make more sense as you see them. Maybe I'll even think to put a warning on this one that if you already know the game really well, you can skip once we get past these story scenes. Bye for now, folks.